Life's unexpected connections. Welcome to Life Tells Stories, where every episode unfolds a new chapter of human experience that will touch your heart and challenge your perceptions. Today, we have a story that's as bewildering as it is inspiring. Have you ever wondered how one moment could change everything? Imagine being a millionaire, completely in control of your life, when a random encounter turns your entire world upside down. What if a fleeting glance at a stranger made you question everything you thought you knew about your past? Before we dive into this incredible tale, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and like this video to join our community of story lovers. Your support helps us bring more remarkable stories that celebrate human resilience, connection, and the unpredictable nature of fate. Michael Hartford was a man used to the luxury of precision and control. His days were carefully orchestrated, filled with meetings, investments, and endless opportunities to grow his wealth. On one such day, as he navigated the familiar streets of downtown Manhattan in his luxury car, the ordinary flow of his routine was abruptly interrupted. At a bustling intersection, Michael's eyes landed on something that held him captive. A woman in a wheelchair, worn yet resolute, was selling flowers with the help of two small boys. Street vendors in New York were a common sight, but there was something about these two boys that demanded his attention. They had the same wavy brown hair and striking green eyes that Michael saw in his own childhood photos. The sight was surreal, the resemblance uncanny. As he sat waiting for the light to change, Michael couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that the boys were somehow connected to him. Despite Michael's attempts to brush off the strange encounter, he found himself haunted by the faces of the woman and the boys. He was a man who had spent his life chasing goals, collecting accolades, and priding himself on making clear-headed decisions. But the image of those children lingered, haunting him in every reflective surface, tugging at a place within his heart he had long kept locked away. Michael's workdays were driven by one objective: profit. However, after seeing those two boys for the first time, his mind wasn't on numbers or Wall Street trends. Even at his high-rise Manhattan office, with the breathtaking city skyline before him, his mind was back at that intersection. Could those boys be his? He began to recall old relationships, forgotten moments, faces that had once mattered to him, faces he had left behind. As Michael sat in his office, staring blankly at his computer screen, one of his assistants snapped him back to reality with questions about the upcoming quarterly earnings report. Michael was startled, unsure of the conversation, which was unusual for a man known for his sharp focus. His colleagues exchanged puzzled glances. Michael's restlessness grew until he could no longer bear the weight of his uncertainty. He needed answers. Michael decided he couldn't move on without understanding what he had witnessed. The next day, he drove back to the intersection, hoping to find the mysterious family. He waited for hours, surrounded by the cacophony of New York traffic, but they were nowhere in sight. Frustrated and unable to shake his growing unease, Michael decided to take things further. He hired a private investigator, a man named Andrew Cole, known for his discretion and effectiveness. Michael gave Andrew all the details he remembered, down to the flowers the boys were selling. Andrew didn't ask questions. He simply nodded and began the search. Days later, Andrew returned with news that changed everything. The woman's name was Anna Sullivan. Once, she had been a promising economist, but a car accident 5 years ago had left her paralyzed and struggling to support her family. Her twin sons, Liam and Ethan, were 6 years old. Michael felt a chill as he heard their ages. The timing aligned all too well with a fleeting romance he had shared during a time in his life when commitments were meant to be avoided, not cherished. Michael couldn't stay away. He drove to the Bronx, where Anna lived in a modest, worn-out building, a stark contrast to his opulent lifestyle. He approached the door and knocked, heart pounding. When Anna opened the door, her face went pale, and her eyes filled with shock and disbelief. It had been years since they had last seen each other, but the recognition between them was immediate. The conversation was tense. Anna was defensive, protective of her children. When Michael asked about Liam and Ethan, her face hardened. Yes, they were his children, she finally admitted, her voice filled with bitterness and fatigue. She told him about the accident, the struggles, and how she had tried to reach out to him. But no one had answered her calls or responded to her emails. Michael was stunned. He had never received any messages. Something had gone terribly wrong, and his children had paid the price. Michael left Anna's apartment with a heavy heart. The revelation of his children's existence was a shock that left him feeling a mix of guilt, confusion, and an unexpected yearning to know them. He was a father, something he had never imagined he would be. His entire identity, so firmly rooted in his wealth and success, now felt hollow in comparison to the prospect of having two children who had grown up without him. The next morning, Michael could barely focus on his meetings. His assistant, visibly concerned, suggested he take some time off, something that was unheard of for Michael. But he needed it. He spent his day in his luxurious penthouse, staring at the New York skyline, trying to make sense of what he was supposed to do next. How could he reconcile the man he had been? Driven, ambitious, sometimes ruthless, with the father he now wanted to become. Michael knew he had to see Anna again, not to demand anything but to offer support. He went back to her apartment, this time with a calmer demeanor, hoping to communicate his desire to be a part of his children's lives. Anna, however, was guarded. She had spent years fighting alone, and she had no intention of allowing Michael to suddenly step in and disrupt everything. She made it clear that trust had to be earned. Liam and Ethan barely knew who he was, and she wouldn't let him destabilize their world on a whim. Michael, humbled, agreed to take it slow. He would show up, not with grand gestures, but with consistency, something Anna and the boys could rely on. Over time, Michael began to make small but significant efforts. He brought books for the boys, offered to help Anna with groceries, and showed up at the community center where Anna worked. Slowly, Liam and Ethan began to open up. Ethan, the more curious of the two, asked Michael about his car, about his work, about his life. Liam, still cautious, watched his brother but started to follow suit, his icy exterior melting bit by bit. Michael decided to do more. Anna had once been an economist, and the community center she worked at was underfunded and struggling. Michael arranged for an anonymous donation to the center, enough to keep it running for years. When Anna learned about the donation, she confronted him. Why was he doing this? She asked, her voice tinged with both anger and disbelief. Michael simply said, because it's the right thing to do. Anna was torn. She wanted to believe that Michael's intentions were sincere, but she feared the repercussions of letting him in too close. The boys were growing attached to him, especially Ethan, who had taken to showing Michael his drawings and asking for his help with homework. Michael's presence was no longer something she could ignore, but it was also something she couldn't fully accept, not yet. One evening, while looking through old emails, Michael discovered something that shook him. He realized that many of Anna's messages had never reached him. They had been intercepted. With the help of Andrew, the private investigator, Michael uncovered the shocking truth. His ex-girlfriend, Victoria, had deleted Anna's emails and even sent a forged response, telling Anna to stay away. Michael confronted Victoria, who eventually admitted to her actions. She claimed she had done it because she feared losing Michael and was afraid of what a sudden revelation like fatherhood would mean for their relationship. Michael was livid. Her actions had caused years of suffering for Anna and his children. And now, I ask you, the viewers, what would you do in Michael's situation? Should he have confronted Victoria differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Michael knew he needed to do more than just apologize to Anna. He needed to act. He decided to create a foundation dedicated to helping single parents and disabled individuals facing circumstances like Anna's. He wanted his actions to speak louder than words, and he wanted to make a tangible impact on people's lives. The foundation was established quietly, without fanfare, and its first donation went towards helping Anna settle her debts. Anna was overwhelmed when she learned about Michael's actions. She was wary, but she couldn't deny the changes she saw in him. He was there, not just in material ways, but emotionally too. He played soccer with the boys, helped them with their schoolwork, and took the time to listen to them. Slowly, Michael became a part of their daily lives, not as an outsider, but as someone they could. Months went by, and the family dynamic began to shift. Michael invited Anna and the boys to dinner one evening. It was a simple gathering, but one filled with laughter and warmth. He took this opportunity to speak from the heart. He turned to Anna and said, "I know I wasn't there when you needed me most, and I can't change that. But from now on, I promise I will be here, every step of the way. I want us to be a family, if you'll have me." Anna was silent for a long time, her eyes glistening with tears. Finally, she nodded. "You've come a long way, Michael," she said, her voice trembling. "But more than words, I need to see actions. I need you to prove every day that you mean what you say. If you can do that, then maybe we can be a family." Michael accepted the challenge wholeheartedly. He continued to be there, day after day, week after week. He took Liam and Ethan to the park, helped Anna with her new flower shop, and supported her dreams in ways she had never imagined possible. The boys began to call him Dad, and the day they did, Michael felt a fulfillment that all his wealth had never given him. This story is a testament to the fact that wealth and success mean nothing if you aren't connected to the people you love. Michael's journey from a self-centered businessman to a dedicated father shows us all that it's never too late to make things right. Life may have taken Michael on a different path, but it brought him back to what truly mattered in the end: family. If this story moved you, please like and share this video to spread the message of hope and transformation. We all have the power to change, to grow, and to build the relationships we may have neglected. Don't forget to subscribe to Life Tells Stories for more incredible real-life stories that touch the heart. Thank you for watching, and remember, life's real stories are worth telling. Until next time, take care and cherish the people you love.